In the annals of Hollywood history, countless casting what-if stories capture fans' imaginations. What if Tom Selleck had played Indiana Jones or Will Smith had accepted the role of Neo in The Matrix? What if Claire Danes had reunited with Leonardo DiCaprio on Titanic? Or, most queasily of all, what if O.J. Simpson had been the Terminator? Most of these sliding doors moments are intriguing to think about, but it's hard to argue that they would have genuinely changed the course of cinema history if they'd gone the other way. There is one screen test we can confidently say wouldn't have changed absolutely everything though, and it involved a young Christopher Walken and a teen Jodie Foster. In the mid-1970s, George Lucas began the casting process for a little science fiction film you may have heard of called Star Wars. He preferred the idea of hiring relatively unknown actors for the three main roles of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia, so an extensive audition process was launched. In the end, it's believed that around 500 actors threw their hats in the ring to play Han before Harrison Ford nabbed the role, and the list of future stars who auditioned or were talked about is mind-boggling. In 2001, casting director Diane Crittenden told Premiere magazine, "Anybody who was up and coming at that point was certainly brought in. I remember there was one day we had Nick Nolte, Richard Dreyfuss, John Travolta was one of the guys, and we talked about Robert De Niro. We actually didn't really audition people, we just brought them in to meet George." A couple of more established actors were also considered, including Al Pacino and James Caan. But one other auditionee is particularly fascinating to ponder. In 2021, iconic Dune Part 2 star Christopher Walken told the Financial Times, "I did audition, but I don't think I came remotely close to getting the job. About 500 other actors auditioned, so it wasn't as if it was down to me and somebody else." Imagining Walken's unique, icy, bizarrely cadenced delivery as the galaxy's most handsome rogue is undoubtedly strange. At the time he was building a career in Hollywood but wasn't a known entity yet. It would take the 1-2 punch of Annie Hall in 1977 and The Deer Hunter in 1978 to announce his particular talents to the world. In the end though, he wasn't too bothered about not getting the part, mostly because he was never convinced he was the right man for the job. He once chuckled to The Guardian, "I'm very glad Harrison Ford got it. I would have been terrible." Naturally though, this story isn't as prosaic as Walken auditioned for Han Solo and didn't get the part. The truly astonishing thing about his screen test is that he did it opposite a young actress reading for Leia's part, a starlet who was also on the precipice of superstardom in that period. In 2024, he claimed to Variety, "If I'm not mistaken, my partner in the audition was, I think this is true, it was Jodie Foster." Yes, as hard as it may be to picture, Walken conducted his hand screen test with Foster, who was only 13 or 14 years old at the time. The precocious youngster had already leaned her wise beyond her years performance style to Martin Scorsese's Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore and Taxi Driver and was poised to follow that up with Disney's Freaky Friday. In fact, according to Foster, she had already signed on the dotted line for that project, which is why she ultimately turned down Star Wars. In 2024, Foster told Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, "They were going for a younger Princess Leia, but I had a conflict. I was doing a Disney movie and I just didn't want to pull out of the Disney movie because I was already under contract." Of course, the role was eventually played by 20-year-old Carrie Fisher, and Foster conceded that she did an amazing job. Like Walken though, even Foster couldn't imagine herself nailing a part that another actor so perfectly portrayed. She mused, "I don't know how good I would have been," before quipping, "I might have had different hair. I might have gone with a pineapple." So there you have it. In a parallel universe somewhere, Walken played a mildly terrifying Han Solo alongside a 13-year-old Clarice Starling with pineapple hair. Oh, what could have been?